Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Yasmin Huang, and today I'll be walking you through my personal reflections having studied MKB 3804, Strategic Marketing in Social Context. First question, how has social marketing changed my perspective? It didn't really change much because it still takes on the marketing principles that I've learned in the first year. However, I think it focuses solely and more on the society at large in that equation about how marketing creates exchange and it creates value for customers, the partners, and society. It's more about creating societal goods because all intervention focuses on that. It focuses on public health concerns, obesity, vegetable and fruits consumption. It focuses on, for example, one of the articles I've read about COVID vaccinations, drinking and smoking. That's a negative externality that government is trying to address on that. Another thing about social marketing is that it heavily relies on consumer psychology and their co-creates roles in the exchange process. It relies on their willingness, their readiness in order to engage in the desired behavior. What are some ethical dilemmas about social marketing? First is what's right and what's expected. I think as social marketers, your professional duty is to develop campaigns that emotionally resonate and catches the customer's attention. But in social marketing, even though sometimes you know that the social problem, it's broader, it's more than that, it's just not about individuals' behavior choices. For example, cancer or obesity in the article by Weimer, he has said that it's more about that. It's more about for example, obesity, it's about the individual's interactions with the food industry, and then cancer, it's about lots of other factors. But I think as one of the duties, they're still expected to develop all these campaigns, despite knowing that it could be not that effective. And then sometimes social marketing campaigns could unintentionally cause harms. For example, dissonance, because it's focusing on the bad. Because I think social marketing is about driving unhealthy behaviors in order to have good and better behaviors. For example, eating more vegetables. But what if you're just focusing on the bad? And this could cause a dissonance, and very unease feelings of, for example, the consumers could feel very unease and embarrassed about their current state because you're making them and you're wanting them to move to the desired state. So, yeah. And then the third one, approaching it on a deontological versus a theological approach. So deontological, you would want to minimize the most risk, either physical or mental harms, but you also theological perspective, you would want to maximize the reach and the frequency and get the most good outcome out of the campaign. So it could be a bit challenging balancing between these. So what have I gained from doing the report? I've grown in my critical thinking skills. I ask what's good, what's bad? Is the problem relevant enough? Is it big enough? Is the issues like where is it in what age group? Is the age group too small, too broad? So yeah. And next, I've also learned a lot about the Australian consumer insights, about their view on food. I've also understand more about past interventions in Australia, New Zealand, either whether digital interventions or community-based interventions. So I gained a lot in my understanding about the Australian marketplace on food literacy and also interventions that worked or did not work, or either did work but worked on a very small population, for example, like Australian households. And then the challenges I have is while researching that I need to gain a consensus on the desired benefits, motivators, and barriers because some age group is just university students, but some is it could range from 25 years old to 90 years old. And I also find it hard to position the desired behavior as the most appealing based on in order to grab their attention that could align with their personal values, the priority values. So how do I address them is that I capitalize on the emerging trends right now about wellness. It's about eating fiber maxing, eating the most fiber on TikTok, and also the existing habits of Australian consumers who they track their food intake and they always try to monitor it. And then my favorite takeaways is that I can discover OzVeg and Plus One Serve from this unit. I will definitely be following their future strategies and their future offerings on the social media. I've also enhanced my interpersonal skills and teamwork collaboration with my teammates via Assessment 3. I've learned to construct comments constructively, practice active listening, and also we had a lot of effective teamwork. I think this could be help me to bring into my professional future workplace. And then lastly, advice for future students is that never ever skip class and the lectures. They're very helpful. The lectures are very, very helpful. Fiona is very dedicated. I've seen all the lectures and she and guides you through all the steps in approaching the 10 steps marketing plan. The classes are very engaging in a way that you have lots of exposure to past examples, lots of past campaigns, also to revisit unit reading lists because there's lots of helpful articles in there, and always stay curious and always ask, what if? Does this work the best? Would that work the best? Is that too narrowed or is that too broad? Is it relevant enough to the client? And thank you for listening to the video. And I would like to thank Fiona and Glenn for your dedication this semester. You guys have made the subject so interesting, and I've always looking forward to going to your class. It has been a pleasure to be part of your class this semester, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.